Hi, I am Hugo Gonzalez, and in this presentation, we're going to see how is a day in a college student's life, what things we almost always do, and other things that almost no one does. First of all, I have to explain that we are going to see some differences between three types of students: the ones that still living with their parents in their homes because the college is in their own city, the others that are living with their flatmates on a flat, and others that live in a hall of residence.
Living in a shared flat is perhaps the most popular choice among the students when they study away from home. One of the consequences of the daily coexistence is the distribution of the household chores. Amongst other things, students have to cook, do the laundry, or manage their own money. My name is Laura and I live with two friends of mine in Santiago de Compostela. An advantage of living in a flat is that you don't have to be home at a specific time. You don't have a care of you that you have to stick to. An important matter to keep in mind when you are looking for a flat is its distance regarding your faculty. The majority of the students that live in the Galician capital are located near the Red Square, one of the most central points of the city, near the South Campus. In this campus, degrees such as biology, law, or engineering are taken. Since my two flatmates study in the South Campus, I live so close to it. My campus is in the old city and I have to walk for about 30 minutes to get there. In the North Campus, degrees such as journalism, nursing, or philology are taken.
Hello, I am Maria. Living in a hall of residence means sharing a building with a large amount of other people. You share common spaces such as the kitchen, the TV room, the gym, or the computer room. Depending in which hall are you in, you have a shared room or an individual one. Staying in a hall of residence, it's a good option for those who do not know anyone or do not feel prepared to live by their own in their first year of university. Usually, they have their own celebrations, and it's a perfect opportunity to meet people.
On the university, people who live at home with his family have some differences with the others. At the morning, they go to the faculty by car, usually when the classes are finished, and they arrive home, the food is cooked and over the table. They have less chores to do. In conclusion, their lives are more comfortable than the other students, but they have one important disadvantage. They have less liberty. It's so relevant because people who live out of their homes can do everything that they want, when they want, and how they want.
Hi, I'm Pascual, and I will talk about what I do in the mornings in a day in college life. I usually get up at 8:30 a.m. because fortunately I live near the faculty, not like my friends Hugo or Nicolas, who have to walk for 30 minutes to be at 9 a.m. in class. As I am a guy who likes to sleep, and is this I think we all agree, I take a lot of time to sleep, and usually I shower in 5 minutes to be ready and clear for my morning classes. I am fortunate to live 2 minutes from my faculty, although I will not deceive. Sometimes I take the car to live 3 minutes more.
Breakfast time is a very important moment in a routine of a college students because it's the moment when they get energy for the rest of the day. But there are some differences between the breakfast that the people that lives in a flat has and the people that live with their parents has, because the students that live with their parents almost always have their breakfast prepared by their own parents, so they don't have to take time to prepare it, and this gives them the opportunity to just take breakfast and then go to the college. In the other hand, we have the ones that live in a flat and they have to prepare the breakfast. This takes a lot of time. They almost always go without eating anything to the college because they are running out of time, and this happens to the ones that live in a hall of residence too.
The main objective of university students is to be awarded a degree to find a job in the workforce. In the University of Santiago, your timetable can be in the morning or in the afternoon. In both cases, the majority of the students opt for walking to class. Another very common option is to travel by bus, which is quite affordable with a travel card. Although Santiago stands out for being a city full of students from other towns, there are people who are native to Santiago and study here. They continue living with their parents at home. In this case, they are the ones who take their children to university until they pass their driving test, just like our classmate Sarah. Last but not least, depending where you live, you will have to get up early or later to arrive at your faculty. Maria, who is studying English, lives in the Burgo das Naciones halls of residence, and she has to walk only 2 minutes to get to the philology department.
These do not change for any of us. Once we enter the room, we have the same things to do: pay attention and participate. Even we have different degrees, Hispanic, English, or German, we share our classes except the specific one from our degree.
At the break time, we go to the cafe to talk about the last classes and other issues. We usually eat some sandwiches and drink a cup of coffee if we are tired. On Wednesdays, there is German exams and most of us decide to go to the library to study before the exam. Other people who haven't this subject can go home or can wait for the next hour or two.
To return home from the faculty, most of us come walking, or as in the case of Hugo or Nicolas, we take the bus, because they live far, or farther than I. However, I sometimes, and not very often, drive up to my house and approach some friend of mine to his home. Others, such as Maria, prefer to walk and take a walk in the swamp pond that we have next to our faculty of philology.
Lunch is an important meal in a student routine because it's the moment when they arrive home from college and they want to eat something. If you're still living with your parents, you're used to have your own lunch prepared, which means you only have to take lunch and then go to take a quick nap. If you're living in a flat or you're living in a hall of residence, this is not so easy. So you have to prepare your own food and then you have to wash your the things that you have got dirt. If this is your case, you are going to almost always have some type of pasta or rice for lunch because it is quick and it is so easy to prepare.
After breakfast, lunch, and dinner, not only the students have to wash the dishes, but they also have to clean up the utensils they use for cooking, pots and pans, for example. As not all the flats have a dishwasher, a lot of the students have to wash up by hand and take in turns. If you are living in a house of residence, you won't have to do it because the kitchen staff is in charge of that. If you still live at home, we imagine that you will have to help with the household chores.
This is the part that no one likes, but necessary to pass all our exams and assignments. In Maria's case, she has a library in her hall, so she goes there or to the faculty's library. Elena usually goes to Concepcion Arena Library due to the fact that she has a little brother at home that make much noise. In the other cases, they usually stay at home with their flatmates because any library is near their houses. Sometimes we have to make a group assignment, and all of us commonly meet in the faculty and prepare the assignment in the tables on the first floor.
When you live in a residence, chores are made by someone who works doing that in every bedroom of the residence, so it's more comfortable for the students who live there. They afford a lot of time and effort. The students who live in their homes have some similarities on this aspect. In most of the cases, the majority of the housework are made by their parents. Finally, the students who live in a flat with flatmates have a lot of chores because they have to clean all the flat, wash the dishes, clean their clothes, etc.
As good teenagers that we are, separate from studying, we also go out to have fun and drink something in a pub. But if it is true that there are people like Maria or Lara who prefer going with their friends to take beautiful photos to upload their favorite social networks, as well as Instagram, Twenty, or Facebook. For example, there are times when I prefer to stay quietly on my couch, watching series or movies on my laptop, eating popcorn or drinking a Coke.
Doing some sports or going to the gym is a very important activity that a lot of students do in their own lives for disconnect and just keeping their body healthy. When these students go to the gym, they just get relaxed, get focused on what they are doing, and they don't think on their exams, which means that when they arrive home, they're going to feel better and they're going to work better and study better the things that they need.
After free time, afternoons of shopping or training at the gym, it's time to go back home and prepare everything before having dinner. It is usual to have a shower and then put on your pajamas to be warm, above all on these gloomy days.
As well as lunch, Sarah has her food prepared by their family, and she does not have to do any cooking at all. Maria goes to her kitchen and shares how her afternoon was and what she did with her housemates, and spends some time there after finishing her dinner. Something similar happened to the ones that share a flat. They go to the kitchen and cook their meal while talking to their flatmates about some news or their lives in general.
At the end of the day, every student wants to rest in their beds, watching their favorite series or seeing an interesting film. Netflix is the most common platform to do this, in the tablet, in the computer, or in the mobile phone.
Finally comes the best time of the day in the life of a student, the time to go to sleep. And we do not stop doing things during the day, and that makes us tired. As well as Hugo and I go to the gym, Maria and Laura spend the afternoon studying in the library or doing errands. Or the case of Elena, who has to take care of her little sister all afternoon, so you can go to sleep seems like a prize, or at least to me it seems, because as I said, I love sleeping, and then there is a Nicholas, who also sleeps a lot, even more than I do. In short, we get exhausted. We put on our pajamas, we brush our teeth, and go to sleep. I have to add that I usually read a book before I go to bed, while Hugo, for example, listens to music, or Nicholas, who reviews his homework, and everything is in order. He's a good student, like all of us, I think.